All right, yeah. Hi. Yes, I just wanted to check in on you. I've been getting a lot of messages about sound clips for pedals, and I'm about to put up two more pedals for sale, and I have a bunch this time, so they won't sell out. Hopefully, well, maybe hopefully anytime soon. But yeah, so I have these two that are going up this weekend. Is this gold one is just a Fuzz Face, and I'll talk more about it. It's Fuzz Face, and then if you don't have a Fuzz Face, I think this is you want this basically. It's really good, and this is an Octave Up pedal, and I'm really excited about this. I think a lot of people are gonna like this one, just because it's like. It's really simple, and you can get a ton of tones, and it works with it works together with all other distortion pedals you might throw at it. So also, I mean, a lot of you probably complain about like pedal demos, they have too much talking, just get to the note. I'll put like advancement tags or whatever to so you can get right to the sounds. But first I want to talk about Fuzz Face. So I really enjoyed Fuzz Face. This one I've been using for years, and as you can see, it doesn't even have a power supply, and that's like how legit Fuzz Faces kind of go, because it's technical, it has something to do with the battery, but this one it just has a power switch, and the idea is that you just use battery, and the battery lasts for years. But admittedly, since it was on my actual board that I was gigging with, I forget, and I left it plugged in, and so the battery is still like this thing that you have to keep maintaining. But I really like this one because it has like I don't know, it just sounds like a good Fuzz Face. It's pretty loud, and this trim knob is what you need, and I'll show you why. Because this is the current model Dunlop Fuzz Face. I think is good. It sounds good. I mean, it sounds pretty awesome, but that's the thing. You hear all that noise? That's it could be fixed if it had trim, but it doesn't have trim. I think the idea of this Fuzz Face 2 is that it can run on power supply, but that means that the battery won't last nearly as long as in just a normal Fuzz Face. But yeah, the trim is more important than you think, because look, it also means that your wah doesn't sound good. Like, that's a pretty good wah sound, and then you click on the Fuzz Face. There's no wah. And also there's that frequency again. And sometimes that frequency is, it's like a clicking sound sometimes, depending on what part of the country you're in and what time of the day it is. It's a straight up like radio station. Sometimes it's like just people talking about shit during your set. And I mean, honestly, that's kind of cool, but you don't want it all the time, do you? So this one's mine. It sounds good. So already you can tell the wah comes through, which is amazing. And then, admittedly, I made this wah so that it would be really subtle, but it still comes through from the Fuzz Face. And then, I mean, in my mind, the entire point of the Fuzz Face is that you get that, like, pretty nasty fuzz, like, and then all you do is roll off your guitar volume knob, and you get a straight up overdrive. And I really like the sound of the overdrive. So it's. It's so nice when you get that overdrive sound. So you get two sounds always at your fingertips, and it's just awesome because, like, I mean, clean tones, sometimes it's just kind of weak. But then if you add the Fuzz Face one, it's like there's a little more high end, a little more grit to it. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, this one might be a little subjective, but like the taper of it, the sound is literally, there's just two sounds. It doesn't matter where you put it, so you don't even have to think. There's just max, and then wherever else that volume knob is, it just doesn't seem to matter. So, I mean, I really like that. So I basically decided that, so there's volume, and then, you know, this is what would be a fuzz knob. And it essentially is, but it's, again, it's trim, not fuzz, because I figured you may as well just have the fuzz at max always, so you can always do that trick. And then depending on like what else is going on in your rig, you have the trim knob. It can always be dressed up with trim. And then, so like, you know, people always say like the Fuzz Face has to go first in the chain. And I mean, that's true if you want to do the trick, the roll your volume knob off trick. But let's say you don't even care about that. You can still use the trim knob to get that sound. So, I mean, these are so sweet because no matter where you put it, I mean, you can always get the Fuzz Face sound, or you can get kind of that rolled off overdrive sound, no matter where you put it in your chain. But I mean, again, when people say it needs to go first, it's, yeah, so you can do the trick with the volume knob. So yeah, I really like that one. And yeah, just to demonstrate that idea that you have to roll it off for it to work. I mean, like the trick, just, we'll get into this later, but just believe me for now, when you put this knob over here, this is just a buffer right now. We'll talk about what this does later, but check this out. So let's say you got your fuzz, and then you rolled it off to do the overdrive trick, but then you put a buffer before it. Check this out. It turns right back into a fuzz. So, I mean, that's another way you can kind of like, if you even want to just leave this on all the time, like let's say this is just your clean sound, and then you also did not want to bother with rolling the knob back and forth, you could just kick on any other pedal and it would turn back into a fuzz. So, I mean, it's just so cool. There's so many like little rules that you have to follow, and like you get cool ass results. And then that's the other thing. Maybe you're using a chain that isn't true bypass or whatever. You have a bunch of Boss pedals and you still want to use this Fuzz Face. Check this out. You can still, so again, I set this up just as a buffer. You can still get your overdrive sound, because that's just a trim knob. And you get everything in between too. So, I mean, that was my idea for a Fuzz Face. I just used the most like basic transistors, and I'll just show you the schematic if you want. I don't know how I'll put this in this video, but if you just ask me for it, I'll give it to you. But yeah, it's the most the easiest to find transistors possible. I knew this had to be possible. Is you can make a Fuzz Face that sounds good with just plain ass transistors. And all you have to do is find two that are matched, which is easy with because with 2N3904s. And then you don't need to use a backwards power supply. It can work on daisy chain. It can work on battery. And I used a green LED, so it should last. It should last for years if you unplug it between usage, obviously. And yeah, so that's like my complete like solution to Fuzz Face. I wanted it a Fuzz Face that didn't use any rare parts, sounds good, does all the tricks, doesn't care if you use power supply or battery, and even if you don't want to, you know, follow the rules of like having it first in the chain, you can still get cool sounds out of it. So I mean, it's just a two knob thing, and I don't know. I love it. I use it. This is the only fuzz face I use now in my band. And you know, formerly I had been using this thing for about 3 or 4 years. Still love it. Still keep it around, but it is germanium, so like that's the other thing. This doesn't care what day it is, what the temperature is. I think it almost doesn't even care how low the battery is, but you know, your mileage may vary on that. But yeah, so this is Fuzz Face, all the sound and all the tricks without really any of the considerations. So I'm really excited about that pedal. But maybe you have enough fuzz. If that's the kind of guy you are, I still want you to see this. This is, like, in my opinion, this is an improvement on the green ringer. So when you have both knobs at maximum, it's just a green ringer. Like, and that's, you know, analog octave up, and it like, you know, it doesn't sound anything like your whammy, or it doesn't sound like two guitars. It just sounds like... That's my favorite part, actually, that when you play two notes, it sounds like a ring modulator. It doesn't sound like, you know, U2 or something. It sounds nasty. And then, obviously, you want to use it with a fuzz to get kind of the Octavia sound. Like. And I don't know, to the untrained ear, it's like, is that just a fuzz sound? But listen to it. It jumps up an octave. So that's, again, when you have both these at max, that's just a green ringer. And so first off, there's a mix knob. So let's say you think, you know, this is like, that's nice that it jumps up an octave, but it's too bright. It's a little too much of that in your ear. You're still getting that ringer. So that's really nice on bass too, because it like it. Maybe I'll use bass later to show you. It adds some growl to it, and it's so sick because. Like, why would you want an octave up on bass? But yeah, when you hear it, it's like, no, that sounds great. That like, it just puts the growl back on it. It doesn't sound like you're playing guitar now. It sounds like, you know. Anyways, the other knob is my addition. I made a really sweet filter. Basically what I noticed is that, like, again, it's like, it's nice that you get that octave up tone, and it rocks. You get the ring mod, and it's a bunch of noise and stuff. It kicks so much ass, but like, you also get such an interesting tone when you either kick the wah pedal all the way off, or you roll your toe knob all the way off. So it's like check it out. It's like. Maybe not quite all the way off with the wah, because you lose some of that tone. Anyways, I built a special little filter circuit that it's essentially bypassed at maximum. But then when you turn it all the way up, like to the bottom, at the end of the sweep, it gets you that tone. Like, I mean, if you don't hear it, it's like. hear how like it sings a little more when you do that. And then like even then you can still mix it. So and it still makes the and like it really it cuts through any distortion. So I mean, this has turned into, you know, an essential pedal for me. You know, it's just a green ringer with a mix and a little filter, just so that you don't have to roll off your tone knob. It's different than just a plain tone knob because it sweeps like a wah. And you can hear that more if you trade positions. Actually, let's do that real quick. So I'm going to make a jump cut so I can trade positions. Check this out. So I personally would like the octave to come before the fuzz, but you know, depending on what you're doing, maybe you like it afterwards, you should check it out because it also gets cool results afterwards. Again, you can mix it. And there you can really appreciate the filter because like it like I don't know, like sounds are getting sort of canceled, but if you sweep the filter, you can really dial it in. So yeah, that's the octave. I was thinking if there's other things I have to cover. Yada yada yada. Mix, filter, order changing. Oh, and then the other thing I wanted to show you all is I'm not sure when these are coming out. Probably, I think if I do everything right, it would only take 1.5 months. But I have these Big Muff mods that I like so much. I did it to the big one, and it works on the small one too. And I like it so much that I might just start making them. I don't know if I'm gonna do a mod service, but yeah. Let me just show you what's cool about this Big Muff. Let's get rid of this. All right, so this is my Big Muff mod. So yeah, first off, it is first off, what I did, look, if you, sorry, trigger warning, I kind of just don't like the stock Big Muff. And whatever, if it works for you, you know, congrats, because there's a ton of Big Muffs out there. Have your pick. It already exists for you. But this mod exists for maybe people that don't like that. How it has a huge mid scoop in the middle, for example. So all I did was close close the mids. It's this can do like a perfectly flat EQ sound. I mean, that's the tone knob. If you, even at max, it's pretty cool. So yeah, that's, and then I don't know if you can tell, but the sustain knob, it has a much more usable range too. It's still, I mean, it's still a Big Muff though, but it makes more sense when you play it. But like typically a Big Muff, it's like there's that sound, and then it right here, everything above that just kind of sounds the same. But this one, it's got like a whole range. And I mean, this is kind of hard to communicate, but over video, but the volume knob it's at least like twice louder than the stock muff. But and then kind of, I should have just kept one stock so I could show you back and forth. But this is the other thing. It's like it can basically, when you have a stock muff, it's kind of like everything is just so compressed, which again, that's the sound of the Big Muff. If you like it, it already exists for you. But like this, you can actually still get some dynamics with, it still sounds like a muff, but you can get dynamics when you like palm mute, for example. So, I mean, again, it's kind of hard to communicate, but like try it with your stock muff and you're like, oh yeah, I can't do that. Like that would just sound like flatlining with most muffs. And then again, I mean, you combine it with this octave effect, and it's like, I just really enjoy it. I don't know what to say about it. I'm just going to do it again. And back to this pedal, I just want to reiterate, if you have this at max, it really is just a green ringer. So if you did also just like playing it with wah, you still have that sound. So, I mean, you can get the singing tone that way. I think the same reason that it has dynamics, there is a little bit of roll-off. Not as good as the Fuzz Face, but... So, I mean, it's like a slightly less compressed, well, I mean, a very less compressed Big Muff with flat mids and a little bit more, you know, range to the sustain knob. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to really communicate that over demo, but if you try it in person somehow, I think you'll understand that this is pretty much it's like a Big Muff for people that don't really like Big Muffs. Oh yeah, and then these Zuffs. So basically, I used to have. I just want to address this real quick. The company, I used to just offload all the painting and drilling enclosures off to someone else, but they stopped doing it. So the pedals won't look like this anymore. This is actually this is the same as the green ringer that I have going, but mine will look like I have like 4 of these left. But from then on, I think it'll look kind of like this. I chew the corners off, and then if you can see, there's like finish on top of it. So it's like, it's meant to look like this. I'll make some that are not relict for if you just don't like it. And I've moved on to using PCBs. So, I mean, the pedals are a lot neater now. I just want to thank everyone that's bought pedals so far. But now I'm using PCBs, and I think I can make a lot more, so I'm not going to sell out as fast. And this is the last of the reverse sound fuzz. I'm just going to toss this one in. Again, it's not going to look like this from now on. I think it's still going to have, I mean, vaguely like this, but I can't really do paint jobs the same way. So we'll see what happens. It's going to look cool, trust me, but it won't look like this. So don't worry, if you're here just to hear the reverse sound fuzz, it'll be the same circuit, just in a different looking thing. Nothing's really changed. That's what I like about this thing. It's just like, even if you don't care for having the trick, the reverse sound trick, it doesn't always work. I mean, like in a musical context, it always works when you turn the knobs and make it do it. It always works. But even if you just need another fuzz pedal, this is just another fuzz pedal that rocks. Like, but yeah, obviously you want the reverse. So, I mean, it's just volume, gain, and then the reverse action. So let's try it out. Again, you get the reverse action with, you know, basically you just dial in a fuzz sound with that, and then how much reverse you want it to be. And that's all the way reverse, and then at the minimum is just a plain ass fuzz. so those will be, you know, this is the last one. Whoever buys this, it'll be back soon. It'll be back soon anyways. Thank you for everyone that bought it so far. Yeah, I'm going to do a big run of these. It won't look like this, but it'll be cool.